Good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. We've had some snow come in the last few days, but we got kind of a little break today. The wind stopped blowing. So we're going to go outside and get a few things done that need to get done. Probably going to bake some bread today too. So stick around. I went to coffee this morning and also went by the post office, and we had some surprises. We'll show you what they are. We got this beautiful doormat in the mail, red pickup, Kelly's favorite. It came from our friends Troy and Penny in Omaha. It says, Mark and Kelly, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Little red trucks are everywhere. And thanks again for the emulsion blender. Troy and Penny won the last giveaway that we did because I think Troy had the most comments on the channel. We also got something else today too, really cool. From our friends Matt and Sam down in Oklahoma. They have their own flour mill down there on their property, and they sent us some fresh ground, unbleached flour that we're excited to try. Going to be super cool. Looks like there's some other stuff in here. Let's see what else is in here. We got two really cool aprons. They're like flour sack material, and there's a really good adjustable ones that you can pull the thing through and adjust it. But it says Graham flour mill. Super cool. Got the flour unpacked. This is hard red winter wheat, whole wheat flour, and this is a white rose special. Apparently Kelly has already heard about this stuff. She said you need to make a mixture of both to make your best bread. So we can't wait to try these. And then their youngest daughter Allie did some pictures for us. Super cute. Kind of looks like Ruby. And then a turtle, a Markelly Farm pickup truck, and a tractor. Looks to be a John Deere. I love the purple. So thank you so much, Troy and Penny and Matt and Sam. Merry Christmas to you all. Hope it was a good Christmas for you. We have the best subscribers, let me tell you. I got some stuff I need to go do outside, so let's go out there, and then we'll start making this bread. Get quite the winter wonderland out here. I need to shovel off our driveway a little bit so we have a nice dry spot out here and our sidewalks, and then got to go out to the barn and to the shop and clear out in front of the doors, because if we allow that to freeze we won't be able to get our doors open, especially the barn, because we have the tractor out there. If we get a heavy enough snow, we got to push snow. We got to be able to get the tractor out. We have doors on both sides though, so if it snowed in on one side, we can get out the other side. Got the driveway and the sidewalk cleared. Now we got to lay down some ice melt. We don't just use any kind of salt. We use a pet-friendly salt, because normal ice melt, it starts burning your pet's paws. And they come out and use this area right here quite a bit when we let them out the front. So we want to make sure we're not burning their paws up out here. What do you think, Ruby? We got it cleaned off enough? Keep your wet paws from coming in the house? Yeah. This stuff not only melts the ice, when you walk on it, it gives you a little bit of traction on this really slick surface also. Well, let's head over to the shop, see what kind of mess we got going on over there. Well, we had a north wind, and that blows snow right up against these doors. And because of the corrugation, if we let that freeze, we're not going to get our doors open. And if winter doesn't go away for a little while, they'll be frozen till spring. It's the main reason we added this walk-through door here, because this wasn't here before. And this gives us a door to get into the shop. You can see where the snow blows in underneath the door too. And that helps lock it in there. Let's go see what's over here behind the tractor. Yep. Got a little snow blowed in over here too. Okay, we got the shop doors free. Now we need to go work on the barn. We put a little ice melt over in front of the barn and the shop as well, because it's still just snowing just a little bit. And you can see here on the driveway it's already working. So if we get little bits of snow, the salt or whatever they call this stuff on the driveway and the sidewalk will keep everything melted. All right, our outside work is done. Let's get inside and start working on that bread. All right, we are back in the kitchen. We're going to do our bread real quick. It's a quick and easy recipe. It's a no-knead recipe. Now, most of your whole wheat bread recipes call for like all-purpose flour or bread flour to be added at a ratio. Matt told me that they do 25% whole wheat flour with 75% of AP flour. So it'd be like a 1/4 cup to 3/4 of a cup of AP flour. But the recipe we're going to use calls for just plain whole wheat flour for the whole recipe. And again, it's super easy, no knead. And you can just pop it in the oven and have some really good bread in just about an hour or so. So let's get with it. So we're going to be using our KitchenAid stand mixer today. If you don't have one of those, you can do this by hand really easily. So we took 4 cups of our whole wheat flour that Matt and Sam sent us. And to that, you want to add 1 package of instant dry yeast. We get it in the bottle here. And always check your date on the bottle, June 2025, and then we keep our yeast in the fridge as well. And then if you don't have the package you can use this, it's 2 1/4 teaspoon equals 1 of those packages. And then you're also going to put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to mix all these dry ingredients together real quick, just to get them combined. You want to start on low so you don't sling flour all over the place. And you're just giving it a good mix. You've noticed we've got a different mixer. I traded our mixer with my mom's mixer since she doesn't use hers anymore. This is one actually I used to own myself. And we found that the motors in these old mixers are so much stronger than the new ones. Our new mixer would actually stop, like when I'd put my meat grinder on here, it would stop the motor and it would heat up. This one, although it's a little bit smaller bowl, works so much better. So be advised, if you're buying a KitchenAid mixer, you might want to get a bigger one than what you need to get the heavier motor, I guess. So now we need to get measuring cup out for our wet ingredients. For our wet ingredients, we have 2 cups of very warm water. You can see we're at about 110 degrees. You don't want to go over 120 on that, otherwise you'll kill your yeast. And to this, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of molasses. You can use maple syrup, you can use honey, you can use whatever you want. But we're going to combine that into here, stir it up. Got it all stirred up. We're going to incorporate it all the way into our dry ingredients. And then we're going to give it a stir. We just want to combine this. We don't want to knead it. So we'll wait for it to come together. And then at the ready, we have a 5x9 loaf pan that we've lubed really well with our cooking spray. You can see that it's coming together fairly well. We'll probably stop it, scrape it all down, and then do it again so it combines better. Alright, we switched over to our dough hook just to kind of mix it up a little bit. We're going to kind of form it into a ball and put it in our loaf pan once it's combined. You don't want to go crazy mixing. Okay, we're going to spray our hands with a little bit of this non-stick spray so we can form this kind of into a rectangle kind of loaf and throw in here. Okay, once you get it in the pan, you want to cover it loosely with plastic wrap. We've warmed up our oven to its lowest temperature and then we shut it off because we need it to rise. And it's a little cold in our house, so we'll let that rise in the oven for about 20 minutes. Now that dough was already warm to the touch because of that nice warm water that we used in there. So if your house is warm already, you don't have to put it in the oven. It'll rise just fine. And you want that dough to rise. If the dough does not rise, it doesn't get those air pockets in it, and it's not real light and airy. It's going to be a really heavy, dense bread, and you don't want that. But along with that heat and the sugar from the molasses, that yeast will really get activated and get going and make you some good bread. Okay, our timer went off. Our bread has risen nicely. So we're going to pull that out, and then we're going to set our temperature to preheat 390 degrees. Once it reaches that, we're going to throw our bread in, and we're going to cook it for about 40 minutes. Now, if you have found that your bread didn't rise up to like the top of the loaf pan, don't be alarmed. Just give it a little bit more time or put it in a warmer area, and it will get there as long as your yeast is good. And it should be, if you keep track of the date and all that, it'll get there. Just give it a minute or 2 or 3 or 10, whatever it needs. While we're waiting for the oven to preheat, I'm going to take some of this coarser flour that they sent us, this white rose stuff, and I'm going to do a little sprinkle on top because I like a kind of a grainy texture to my bread on top. Kelly does not, though. She calls it bird bread if it has seeds or whatever on top. But I like a nice little texture on top. So we'll go with that. Now, talking to Matt, he said this coarser flour, the white rose, he said you can cook that like cream of wheat. You would go 2 parts of water to 1 part flour, and then cook it like you would cream of wheat, mix some sugar or whatever you put in it. So we're going to try that one morning too. Okay, we are at 390. Our bread's ready to go in, so let's get it in the oven. And that's going to rise even a little bit more as it cooks. So we'll be back in 40 minutes. All right, the timers went off. Come in here and listen to your bread. See how it sounds kind of hollow? That's the sound you're looking for. So you can also see it pulled away from the sides just a little bit. So we're going to let this cool for probably about 15-20 minutes, and then we'll turn it out on a wire rack. Now, if you're wondering why the bread doesn't have this big rounded top over the top of the pan, it's because there's only 4 cups of flour in this recipe. Most of your bread recipes have like 6. This isn't made to go clear up over the pan, but you want to make sure it rises about double, and that did happen. Boy, the best thing about making bread is the smell in the house. So I just turned this thing out. I'm going to get a slice while it's still warm, put some butter on it, because that's my favorite time to eat it. There it is. I like a lot of butter. So we're going to let that melt. Sorry, I didn't want to talk with my mouth full. Really good bread. I really like that. I love me a good wheat bread. Kelly, not so much. But I'm going to warn you, if you're one of those people that had your mom cut the crust off of your bread, you're not going to like this bread. But if you're like me, and you even eat the end piece on the loaf because you like the texture and the flavor, you're going to like this bread. This bread is going to make some fantastic toast. I can't wait to make some toast out of this. In fact, as soon as it cools off, I'll probably make a couple pieces of toast. But like with any bread, is the very second this thing cools off, you want to get it wrapped up. You don't want to leave bread unwrapped because it'll start drying out on you. I do that with our Portuguese sweetbread as well. As soon as it's cooled or it's not going to sweat, get it wrapped up. So I hope you try this recipe. Matt and Sam, thank you for the whole wheat flour. Really like it. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come back and see us here at Markelly Farm. Folks, I would like to propose a toast or two.